changed. We had the Web 1 era, the Web 2 era, and then the Web 3, which is the latest form of internet now. We all attest to the fact that during the Web 1 era, we just had static websites. I don't know if some of you are privy to waptrick.com. Waptrick, those days when we were using the touchlight phones, or we used to call Tintin trade, like the Nokia C1 and the Motorola phones. You could only visit waptrick.com, and waptrick.com, you would just be scrolling, tip, 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 and the site was just so static. The images wasn't that so interactive. So those areas were the Web 1 areas. You could just read content, consume it at a go, and then move. But the internet evolved into a Web 2, where we could have interactivity. We begin to build more like applications, the Facebooks, the YouTubes, the Amazon.com. These are all sites that gave us a chance. The web developers that are here gave us a chance to be able to add some visuals, to add animations, to add interactivity to the pages. And that is why we are moving. That's why even today we have artificial intelligence and Internet of Things and all that emerging technologies that are existing now, because the internet keeps revolving. In fact, even those days, to send information was very difficult. We used to send information through mails or faxes, even letters. The elders have told us that letters, you have to write a letter, send it to the bus stop, and then you message it through bus. But today, people are, in fact, some of you have spoken with friends and, pals and clients in US, in Canada, in any part of the world, in India and several other places, through WhatsApp, through Facebook. And that's how the world has become so close. We can move information so fast. 0 minutes, you are chatting with someone. Money, it's something that we have been battling with in terms of moving money. Moving money is still so difficult for us. If you go to the bank to move money, what they have to do is that they ask for transaction fees. Imagine you are sending money to, even just within Africa, Nigeria. You may be charged 1,000 cedis to send 3,000 cedis. Can you imagine? So if you are sending 3,000 cedis, it means you have to go with 4,000 cedis. And they charge the transaction become 1,000 cedis. And if you are sending for instance, if you are initiating today is Wednesday, you are sending a transaction to your friend in Nigeria, it can arrive there on Friday. Imagine you want to buy something tomorrow. It means that you have to initiate it, let's say Monday, so that it can arrive on Wednesday today, and then you buy it on Thursday. So it's slow. Our current system of moving money is slow. Blockchain has come to address that, where you can just send transactions, you can send money, move money in seconds. Some of you have heard about blockchain through what? Through Bitcoin. How many of us here have heard of Bitcoin? If you've ever heard of Bitcoin, put up your hand, please. Bitcoin, BTC. Some of you are even traders, I know. BTC, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash. So you trade Bitcoin, but you don't know what Bitcoin is. It's just because I understand it's a commodity and you can trade it. Many of us are using the internet, but we don't understand how the internet works. It's understandable, because unless you have the technical know-how, you wouldn't be able to. If you download WhatsApp, if you download Facebook to use it, it is a computer, like the software developers that will be able to tell you that, okay, this is how the applications are reading and monitoring your data. Now, this is how the latest form of internet is the Web3. You can simply build applications and own it. Web3 powers blockchain. Why? Because Web 1, Web 2, all these examples, Meta, which is the parent company of Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram, as well as Google, a subset of Alphabet. Google Drive is there, Amazon, Netflix, and Twitter, now X. All these things are owned by central authorities. It all has owners. Meta, Mark Zuckerberg, we all know. Alphabet owns that. Google Drive, Amazon, what's the name? Is it Alibaba or is this guy who owns Amazon? And then Netflix and Co. Where Elon Musk now owns X. So they have the central authority. They have control over this. How many of us witnessed the X shutdown? Social media shutdown has happened several times. There are times we will just wake up, try opening Facebook. It will not work. WhatsApp will not work. Then they will say WhatsApp is down. You wouldn't be able to chat with even your wife or girlfriend. This morning, we experienced something. Since 3 a.m. or 4 a.m., we had power outage nationwide. We all witnessed it, right? And what was the impact of it? Some of us, if we were having early morning lectures, we wouldn't have been able to have the lecture because there was no power anywhere in the world, in the country, except around 2 p.m. or so. That it came around 1 something p.m. That is how central authority operates. That's the disadvantage of centralization or monopoly. But blockchain comes to address this. Blockchain comes to give everyone the ability to contribute or to have a part of what the tool or the product. I'm trying to simplify it for you. Blockchain doesn't allow any one person to have full control over any product on it, but it allows people to have access to the product. So the technology is what we say, it is distributed. It is distributed. Assuming this class, say, has his register for the class. So the entire class register is with him. If he owns it, he has control over it. Let's say he and then class rep, they can decide to change any data. They can decide to change any data on the register without your interference or without even your what? Without even your participation. By assuming everybody has a copy, let's say a digital copy of the register, the class register, can anyone tamper with anything? If you have a class database and you all have copies of it, and for instance, you scored A plus in, let's say, accounting, and accounting is being marked what? A plus in all your what? Your transcript, and everybody has a copy of it. Can you try to say, okay, you scored B? Can anyone try to change your mark, your grade to B plus? Because everybody will see it. It is transparent. It's not also. It is very, very transparent, and everybody in the participation. But if there's a central authority, they can decide to change it. They can decide to change it. For instance, in the school system, we have our student portals. The results may be announced, and you have, let's say, A plus. Then at the end of the day, because the university IT system has control over the portal, they can decide to manipulate your results. And then when you get to final year, your final transcript, once it is released, you wouldn't understand some grades. Or they can even tell you will not be able to graduate because you have to resit for certain papers. Some of you have encountered issues like that. You've encountered issues like that. For instance, they can release results and you paste it on the board. You will see it to be A plus. The uploaded results on your portal will be D plus or D. Then you will now be complaining to lecture and all that. That is how centralized systems affects us. But blockchain allows several participants to have a copy to see what is happening. For assuming every student, or let's just assuming every student has a chance to have a control over the student portal. Who can tamper with it? Before you could tamper with it, you will have to consult everyone that has access to the student portal. I always say it. Imagine that the every person who is 18 plus in the country has voter ID, and then decisions that are going to be made in the country we are going to consult all these 18 plus people. For instance, everybody having a voter ID. Before we vote on budget, all these Ghanaians who are 18 plus and are eligible voters will have to what? Vote on budgets. Aside the 275 that are representing us, I don't know which one will you prefer, the 275 MPs or every voter has a right to contribute to decision making of the country. Which one will be better? You as a voter, do you want the MP to represent you or you yourself to say that, to make a say in decision making? Which one will you like? Is your MP should represent you or you want to have the chance? So that's how democracy should have been operating, right? Because we say, okay, we vote representative, the MP should go. Whatever the MP says, it stands for the entire people. But there are some decisions that Parliament will even approve, which will be what? Which will be so unpleasant to the public. To be so unpleasant. But because Parliament has approved it, we wouldn't have any say. A perfect example I usually give is this family life values bill that came up, which we all call the LGBT. A lot of Ghanaians obviously was against it. But look at how it had trouble passing this into law. Because we are not given the chance to what? To have a say. But when blockchain, for Cardano ecosystem, in the Cardano ecosystem, there are billions of people that are participating in it. Once you have a Cardano wallet, and then you have a minimum of 500 ADA, which is a native token of Cardano, you can be able to what? Contribute to decision making. When they are voting on budgets to distribute to projects, community projects, you can vote. When they are doing elections, you can elect. I think recently we just heard that Parliament has revised the internal parliament party elections to now every member of a party and no longer delegates thing. Just today. And people, I mean, it's still very argumentative. Some people are pleased with it. Some are saying, okay, to now give members of the party because how could we just elect, let's say, allow executives to represent the party and then select flag bearer for you? But at least if every member of the party votes, and then okay, it means that you can say that okay, majority of the members of our party is saying that this person should represent the party in the general elections, and that's what Parliament has just that's what the outcome of today's vote is. Now, why is it called blockchain? A transaction, once a transaction occurs, I'm sending, what's your name? Josefa. So if I'm sending $2 to Josefa, I initiate the transaction. So I just need to take her address. We call it address, or just like mobile money number. So she has to go and copy the recipient address and send it to me. Then I open my wallet, Cardano wallet on my phone, paste the address, and then write $2 and put the password, my spending password, spending pin on the wallet, and then it delivers onto her wallet. So once I initiate it, it gets recorded. So that particular transaction, the transaction that has occurred between me and Josefa, it becomes a block of transaction. And it represents that data. So any other transaction that happens again on the, let's say these two people transact, it also represents another block. And they are being chained together. Do we understand? And that's why they call them blockchain. So they are blocks of what? Transactions that occurs. And nobody can change it. Why? I already mentioned it is distributed. Several people across the world, they are participating in the chain with their computers and their nodes. And you cannot tamper with any data. If you have a line title on the blockchain, it cannot be changed. But if you have a line title with the Lands Commission, they can decide to tamper with it. Or even at the Chiefs Palace, they can decide to resell your plot and issue another paper to the owner. You say, this is my plot. You show your paper. Somebody will also show the same paper. So how do you resolve it? But if you have it recorded on the blockchain, that ends it. No, before the chief cannot even tamper with it. Let's talk about the representatives of the Chiefs Palace. Now, what does blockchain help us to achieve? Traceability. You can simply what? Trace records. That can be easily verified. A perfect example is that if Tamale Technical University is able to embrace blockchain, issue your certificates on the blockchain. If you are looking for a job, once you walk into the company, during interview, they just need to open the blockchain, enter your name or your index number, and then your certificates appears. Today, even WAEC, West African Examinating Council, it would have been very helpful if WAEC is able to have a blockchain for people and employers to verify certificates. Universities can easily verify our certificates during admission processes, but it's very difficult. WAEC, universities will have to write to WAEC. We send application IDs to WAEC for them to then what? Check all their files. I don't even know whether they have an online platform. That is why we are lacking behind as a continent. We need to embrace these technologies in order to keep pace with that. As we are here, if we're having a public ledger that contains every WASI certificate of all students, and everyone can have access to it. Once I open it, I can just enter your name and look at your results. Even though it is private, but we want to ensure what? Transparency. Now, authenticity, we can confirm identity and origin. You cannot attest to the fact that today people fake results. People fake even products and services to go and sell. I'll give you some examples very soon. And then immutability, that's the changing of what? Changing of data. You cannot alter with the data. Once it's recorded on the blockchain, it will be very difficult to change it. Economic relevance, so financial services. Our banking systems can embrace blockchain technology in order to what? To improve, for transparency to exist, so that we'll do away with that queuing systems. We'll do away with high fees, charges. I remember recently I was trying to send $100 to, I think, was it India or so? And I had to pay about $120 because they use a system called Swift. When you send the transaction, it will go to another bank or another system. The Swift people will have to convert it. and then send it to the bank in the receiving country before they credit the recipient. All these things will come with charges. Energy and utilities, if we embrace it in the energy sector, healthcare, our health records. Recently, TTH had issues with the what? With the LIMS, the information system, and they had to resort to the folder system, which was slowing a lot of what processes. Currently, if you go to TTH, the payment system is very slow. You go to payment points, CBG, where they are seated, there are 3 queues to pay for bill. Why will it take you 1 hour to pay for a patient bill? They want to do blood count test, and you have to spend 1 hour. So during emergencies, how can we bear with this? But once we have blockchain system, it will be very easy and fast. We are doing this because we are the future leaders. We are the next generation of leaders. Once we are enlightened about these potentials of these emerging technologies, we will be able to embrace this. And of course, those of you who are web developers and reading computer science and IT, you can learn blockchain programming. I know you may be wondering, okay, so how then do I participate in that? It's very simple. I'm sure after that I can even elaborate more on it. But because of time, you just need to set up your wallet, choose the blockchain. If it is Cardano that you want to build on, of course, Cardano. We have our languages, the Haskell, the Bluetooth, and then the Aiken languages that can allow you to be able to build simple applications. We call them decentralized applications onto the Cardano chain, and then it can run for you. You can even create tokens. You can create cryptocurrencies just like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and others. Of course, the native cryptocurrency of Cardano is the ADA. And once you have your Cardano wallet, you can be able to participate on the ecosystem. Supply chain, we all know what trackers can do. So if you have a vehicle that is moving from the farm, transporting goods and services, you can initiate a tracking technology, and then it follows the goods and services. Now, this is a simple case how Rudy faked 30 million of wine, $30 million of wine. So in the world of wealthy wine collecting, there's one name that stands out. These people use fake wine. They've been producing fake wine, and they're able to do people up to $30 million US. This is the man who did that, because we were not able to verify the authenticity of the wine that was produced. Do we get it? And then Cardano Foundation brought a solution. So they brought a technology from the grape to the glass, from the vineyard where the processing starts. You can be able to check how the grapes are being produced. Then through the labeling, the labels are printed on the bottles, the winemaking processes, everything is going to be recorded on the blockchain. Then they are certified. After testing, bottles are scanned and associated with certification numbers. Then supply chain tracking is being put, and then consumer verification. And this is the outcome. So once you pick the wine bottle, you can easily scan the barcode to be sure that this is an authentic wine from the company. This is an authentic wine from the company. Today, Food and Drugs Authority, I don't know how they verify the food that have been supplied to us. Sometimes we can just be there and they'll say all of a sudden that this particular product should be retrieved from the market. Most of the producers, they give them the certificates, FDA certificate or FDA numbers, then they put on their products. It's difficult for how many of us ever verify a product, to be sure, but there are barcodes on them. Once you buy Coca-Cola, they are even foreign products. Let's just say the local juices that are produced in Ghana, are we able to get a chance to verify them? That this is made from, let's say, Casapreco and all that. I'm not sure. But if we have all these things, we'll be able to even fight smuggling. A company cannot misrepresent Casapreco or any other wine or juice producing company and then produce a fake wine or fake drink. But once Cardano Foundation actually addressed this, and that's why that brought about consumers being able to verify the wine and then trust that. And through this project, the wine opened up 4 new international markets and had a sales of increase of up to 35%. And that's how the blockchain technology can actually contribute to that. These are some few key numbers of our ecosystem, established in 2015. And today, it was actually launched in 2017 by Charles Hoskinson, who is now in his 30s. And it's being managed by 3 entities: Cardano Foundation, IOG, and then Imego. over 140 million transactions have occurred on the chain. And then 2,000 plus projects are building on Cardano. So I mentioned already, if you have the programming skills, you can simply create products and services on the chain or on the network. 10 million plus native tokens have been minted. So we have the JED, we have the ADA, we have several native tokens that have been what? And we are already into 5 continents and 65 plus countries. 65 plus countries. So that is how the community grows. One thing about blockchain is that it is community driven. It is community driven. It is research driven. The community drives it. Once you found a particular blockchain, you cannot run it yourself. It is the people that will be running it. And I always keep saying, if Abraham Lincoln defined democracy as the government of the people, by the people, and for the people should be running the country. I don't know whether our voices are really being heard by our governments. Are we really the citizens that are running this country? So it means that there's something should be done, and technology can be the starting point. If we embrace it, like some countries, Ethiopia and US and some other, even India, some universities already have started embracing this to be able to issue educational institutions, issue certificates on that. So I already mentioned this, research-driven, community-driven, and we use consensus called proof of stake. So the amount of wallets you have, the amount of funds you have in your wallet gives you the chance to be able to participate in the node. This is where I'll end my presentation. We have an academy. For those of you who have had interest in what I've just said, and you want to learn more about blockchain and Cardano fundamentals, we have the high quality blockchain education, business and technical courses from the Cardano Academy. We call that the Cardano Certified Program, CBCA. Once you read it, you can be able to get certificates. And in fact, fortunately, we have waivers, we have coupons. If you read the basic course, it's just online and it's self-paced, free, mobile self-paced, expert verified, and there are some points. So they are founders and enterprise with technical tax certification. At the end of the day, they'll give you a badge. And then you write the official exam, $99. It's online, 90 minutes, 50 questions in partnership with Person View. Previously, it was in person, but now it's online, so that people will have the freedom to just sit at wherever they want to take the exam. But we, as ambassador, we'll be giving coupons, about 50 coupons, to distribute to learners that have completed the course and want to take the exam. So once you have finished this, we can give you the coupon. Then it will waive the $99. That's just $100 psychologically, because $99 is $100. $100 at the moment is how much? By 12 cities, that's about 1,200 cities. So you can imagine. That's how our rating system is. And with the coupon, so we have out to December 2026 to exhaust the coupons. So if you are interested in that, you can visit Cardano foundation.org/academy, or just Google Cardano Academy. It can take you to the site, and then you sign up and you'll be able to take the course. And once you finish the course, you can reach out to us. We'll give you the coupon and you sit for the exams. And then you'll be certified as a certified Cardano blockchain certified we call it Cardano blockchain certified associate program, CBCA. So it's as simple as that. And that is where you will learn deep into some of the practical use cases I have mentioned, how governments and countries and individuals and organizations can embrace blockchain to actually grow. This is what we want to be doing, because artificial intelligence today, we have embraced it. Internet of Things, we have embraced it. Quantum computing is coming, and it is early. It is very good for us to learn it at the early stage so that we can make progress. So thank you very much for the audience, and I'll leave my contacts behind if you need to reach out. We have our platforms, Cardano Ghana on X, on Facebook. We have even our Telegram group, Cardano Ghana Official. Once you search, you can join our forums, and you can always converse with that. So I'm very grateful to you for the audience, and I would like to thank my own brother for giving me the chance to have a share of his special, expert lecture that he was going to deliver. I'm also looking forward to make time and enjoy it, hopefully either today or maybe the subsequent session that's coming up on Friday. So thank you so much, and I wish you all the best. And I hope I'm able to share something with you. Thank you.